I know the internet caused this huge foo-for-all because Tess Holiday was on the cover of Cosmo magazine, which is exactly what it was designed to do, so good on the marketing department of Cosmo. You're still going to fail, though the trajectory of your sales is, well, extremely depressing. But nice spike in sales, and it did exactly what it was supposed to do, which got the entire net to be like, and then a bunch of people go, no, she's fat, that's gross. I weigh heavily on the side of people that say that's gross. So allow me to put my 2 cents into this and, get some views out of it as well. I want it on that cash tray. Good on you, Tess. The thing is, obviously, the intention behind it is nothing to do with body positivity. It's purely to just start a conversation so more people buy the magazine. That is the bare bones, cynical truth of the matter. But having said that, though, does body positivity work? Yeah, there's like some, I don't know, I've read some articles where people say that statistically if you sit there and you say like, you're a good person, you're a nice person, good for you for being fat, they, on really specious social science experiments which are always just, very nebulous and foggy or, shall we say, heavy in their weight towards what you want them to find. There's going to be like a million of those in this, obviously. And is there a better time to do it? No, there's time and place for everything. Now's the time to make a bunch of fat jokes. But the thing is that these studies, they could go either way, but they do say that if you're more encouraging to fat people, they're going to lose weight. And so good just talking about it like it's a disease. But anyway, and it is the mental disease. But what's the underlying root behind most people's fatness? Obviously, there's always people who go, "Some people can't help it." But in the vast majority of instances, probably like 99.9% of the time, you're just a lazy cunt. And it doesn't matter. That's cool. It's just that yours is more visible. And people always go, yeah, well, everybody has their vices, so you shouldn't shame other people. Yes, you should. You should shame people for all of their vices. You know why I think this? It's because when I went to Korea, the very first thought that you have coming back, and you would probably have this if you came back from Thailand or if you've done any of those classic, the Bogan triumvirate of first Bali, then Thailand, and then, real Asia, Japan. Those three, you would come back from those and then you'd be sitting in line and then you'd realise, holy shit, Australians are fat fucks. Not just the white Australians as well. Asian Australians are fatter here because it's socially acceptable to be fat. In Asia, they hate fat people. They loathe them. And so, no one's fat. Obviously, there's some people that are fat, but there's way less fatties there. And so the thing is, yeah, if you're a fat person, mad, a lot of my friends are fat, that's cool, still think they're awesome, and there's more of them to love. But it's just like me with smoking. Is that a good thing to do? No. And so obviously, through time, I've got still those moments where I'm just like, yeah, I'll got one of them, death sticks. But in general, through my day-to-day life, I don't smoke anymore. And that's obviously because of a lot of techniques that have happened throughout self-help, and I think I've just got that Obama thing of just doing it every now and then, but I do want to get rid of that, and I'm trying. Don't make fun of me! But, everyone has their vices, right? Doesn't necessarily mean that you should be applauding that vice just because theirs is visible. So what? It's even more of a reason to not be that, because the harsh Darwinian truth is that attractive people in life are more favoured. And you know what? Coco Chanel actually said once, I think the quote was, "There's no such thing as an ugly woman. There is just lazy women." And it's the same with guys as well. Really, what is an attractive guy? It's basically just the standard dude from The Sims before you did anything to their face. It's really easy to be attractive. Here's the nuts of the bolt of it. 1, buy white glow. 2, get a mild amount of a tan by going around outside and walking. What a concept for everybody that lives in a damn office their entire life, and as soon as they walk out, they go, "Oh, the big ball in the sky, is you angry at me?" Do that a little bit, so you have a little bit of vitamin D, and work out. And also moisturise. And we'll cover that in another video, because I have the Korean secret method to eternal youth. But, for now, let's talk about working out. I know that we've talked about it before on this channel, and all of the concepts pretty much from here on is just going to be me repeating them in different ways and then using whatever is on the internet to just tie that in to get more views. But keep watching, because the thing is, this is the genius of self-help and why it's such a profitable industry. It's because it's just reminding you to do the basics over and over again, and you do need to be reminded of these things, because otherwise you go off and you start wandering off in your own trajectory and going, I don't need to do that. But the thing is that if you keep doing them, you keep refining them, you get better at them, and as a result of building up on them, because these are just small little victories that all pile up into making a bigger victory later on down the path, but you need to keep practicing those little victories to get that big victory. And then one of the crucial things we've talked about a million times on here, the 3 pillars of what you should be doing every single day of your life, which is exercising, reading, and meditating. Now, we're just going to focus in on exercising today because of, you know, whatever her name is on the Tess. I had to look at my notes, and my note is just her name. But anyway, the thing is, don't be proud of that. Okay? That's not a good thing for you. It's not a good thing for society. You're holding down the rest of everyone else, alright? You're embarrassing us. Look, obviously, you can still achieve a lot being fat in your life, but you can achieve a lot more being healthy. Now let's just talk about the attractive part of it. It has been proven through every single social and psychological experiment throughout time, the same social science ones I'm saying bullshit, but come on, as if this isn't just naturally true from what you look at. You are looking at an attractive face for 2 times as long as you're looking at an unattractive face. Again, what is the difference between an attractive and unattractive face? Usually, it is just working out. That's pretty much it. It makes you look skinnier. It makes you more youthful. It is basically one of the closest things that we have to an anti-aging device. That and fasting for 2 days a week, which is something else that you should be getting into as well, and is part of healthy dieting and exercising. But in terms of diet and exercise, we'll just quickly go through it. 70% of your diet should be just vegetables and water. Vegetables, water, and what's that other one called again? Fruit. Why don't I sound like a 5-year-old then who's like, does Fruit Loops count? How did I not know fruit? The thing is, this is what my diet is on a daily basis, and I've taken this pretty much just straight from Tony Robbins' health principles, which is that you have fruit first thing in the morning, not first thing in the morning, but when you have breakfast, and you have that until about 12 in the day, and then for lunch, I basically just have salad and carrots and maybe a bit of fish, and then for dinner, I basically just have vegetables and rice. That's pretty much it, every single day, because it's been in my mind ingrained, and this is actually the thing, is after a while you realize you don't need flavor. Flavor's for people that don't have goals. Actually, you start getting addicted to having flavorless, bland food, because you realize your body is in a nicer feeling nutrients in your body than just having like little bits of sugar going, oh, that was, oh, it's gone already, we have some more. Not having that, and just having this feeling of a body that is functioning properly feels better, I can guarantee you. So for everybody that's always going, vegans are fucking annoying, I agree they are, but just try the vegan challenge for a week and tell me you don't feel better. After a while you'll start registering that meat feels like junk food in your body. As soon as you have it, you're just like, I just get it. You know that fat, you know, just like Ray's dad from Everybody Loves Raymond and being like, well, it's time for my Christmas nap. You start feeling that because it's really difficult for your body to digest, and 50% of your energy goes towards digesting things in your body. Can you think about all of that energy that is going through your body that's just like, let's go out, have a good productive day, let's figure out a bunch of problems for my life, and then half of that is just being like, I have a steak! Don't do it. Instead, just go through doing those principles. On top of that, if you are fat and you do just start having a vegan diet for a while, you can go back to having meat, but just start seeing meat as the way that you see chips, which if you're fat, you're just like, you mean eat it every day? No, fatty! Stay away from the chips! Call you fatty. That's body positivity, isn't it? In a nutshell. Eat more nuts. But the thing is that when you start just having this, what happens is, and if you are unhealthy, you'll start shitting like 5 or 6 times in a day because your body just goes, oh, I've got all these nutrients in my body. I don't have to store fat around myself to protect myself from all the acidity that I'm eating through all of these bad things like meat and alcohol and sugars that actually start attacking the body because it just transfers into acid in your body, because your body is kind of like a pool because you're 70% water. Did you know that? Have you ever watched a Yakult ad before? But if you are eating things that are alkaline based, like in a pool, you start to feel healthier. Your body starts registering that it doesn't need fat to protect acid around it, so it starts getting rid of the fat very quickly. But the other thing that you need to be doing, obviously, is exercise. Now, if you are skinny fat, I recommend that you start doing things like P90X3, which is just half an hour of intense workout a day. And as a result of that, you will not only be more attractive, which gets you more jobs. I mean, for instance, look, the thing that happened, aesthetics, this, I've been thinking about that guy a lot recently, rest in peace. But someone I work with, who's my booking manager actually, she just hired someone, and then I was asking her why, and she said, because the guy was hot. That's how a lot of people get it. It's natural nepotism. Why wouldn't you want that on your side? So you should be working towards that. If you are fat, just start with the small victories. The point is to get it as a habit in your system that you should be working out for at least half an hour a day. Optimally an hour, but I know that a lot of people are busy in this day-to-day world, and by busy I mean they have a 9-to-5 job and then they go home and drink themselves stupid. But you should be getting into that, at least, at the very least. So what the classic thing that every fat person that you hear about their success story does, it's because they didn't go on a diet. Diets wither and fade with motivation. What it became was a habit. It's the same thing with people who remain skinny for the rest of their life, who remain fit for the rest of their life. The gym becomes habitual because when they don't go to the gym, they start feeling bad, because when you do it for 6 months, afterwards, if you stop going to the gym for a while, your body's just like, what's that? Where's all the oxygen? Let's go back and pump. And it kind of just naturally drives you back to doing that. So the important thing is, if you're fat and you don't do any exercise, just start with this. Run around the block today. The next day, run around 2 blocks. The next day, run around 3. Then you get yourself one of those little watches that has the little odometer thing that... Stepometer? It must be called that. And gets you to 10,000 steps a day. But the thing is to start with something small, and you will notice that you will start feeling happier. All this stuff about like, I'm fat and I'm happy. No, you're not. I know, because I know some of these like piece of shit journalist articles that always have that same face of like, I have those 50s glasses and red hair. I'm sexy in my own way. No, you're even grosser as a result of that. Sorry. But anyway, I know a couple of those people and they know exactly who I'm talking about. But, for the sake of... And also not giving them publicity as well. I hate their work. But I know that they're always writing those like, fat people can be happy and sensitive within themselves. Maybe. But both of those people have tried to kill themselves, so... Anyway, but you don't feel like killing yourself if you're fit, because not only do just more doors for you open in life. Sorry, but that's just the Darwinian facts of life. And on top of that, it's just achievable with everyone else. Everyone can be fitter, I could be fitter, and I work out for an hour a day. But there's still like more that you could be doing, right? But you should be getting to that minimum phase where it's not where like people subconsciously look at you and go, ugh. So there's that, but on top of that, the fact is that when you're oxygenating your body, you know how when you just walk your dog, and if you don't walk your dog, it sits there and rips up your couch, and that's why bogans are always sitting there being like, Rex, what are you doing? Oh, now I'm going to have to beat your ass again. It's almost as if you have all this pent-up energy and no one's releasing it for some reason. So why can't you just release it in the same way that I do, which is eat a bunch of Cheetos and pass out in front of Rex Hunt's fishing adventures? But dogs are more obedient and actually have been proven to learn more tricks if you exercise them than as opposed to stagnant fat dogs. It's the same with you. Your brain works better if you exercise. So there's 2 massive reasons that you should be doing it. 1, you're just going to get this natural nepotistic advantage in life. But 2, the main reason is because at the end of the day, as we've said 1,000 times on this channel, nepotism does work, but if you don't have the skills to back it up, you're not going to stay in that job for very long. Unless, of course, your dad's there and he just goes, nah, don't care if this business goes out of business. You are staying here, Don Jr. But, in general, people with skills are naturally going to rise up higher than you throughout the long-term trajectory of life. And the way that you acquire skills is by focusing on something. And the way that you're able to focus on something is if you are fit and healthy, because you are oxygenated and therefore your brain can focus on something longer. Whereas if it's just divvying around with a bunch of coffee and sugars that is hitting through its brain and it doesn't have a bunch of oxygen pumping through it. Have I said oxygen enough? No, I don't think I have. In fact, I find the very notion offensive. I'm offended by that. So you can't get offended at me. Anyway, let the hate begin. See you next week.